like to introduce National Cardiac. National Cardiac is a wearable biosensor company with a strategy to dramatically streamline cardiac monitoring in the clinical trial sector. Please welcome Steve Kenney, CEO of National Cardiac.
The primary point National Cardiac would like to communicate today is that there's a substantially larger opportunity in the clinical trial market for cardiac monitoring over and above the office-based cardiac diagnostics where other patch technologies are currently competing. While there are a number of cardiac monitoring patches on the market today, none of them meet these requirements for clinical trials. The Libre 3 wearable biosensor patch technology is ideally suited for this need due to the simplicity of the design, the lack of required patient interaction of the device, and the technically superior data collection the Libre 3 provides. The Libre 3 wearable biosensor is waterproof, easy to apply, and if a person can put on a Band-Aid, they can easily apply the Libre 3 patch. So patients can do it as well, easily. I'm going to show you the FDA-approved Libre 3 patch design, packaging, and ease of use after this very short slide presentation. Allow me to give you the current process for monitoring cardiac risk and testing all new drugs for FDA approval. In other words, the FDA wants to know what sort of cardiac risk every drug on the market, whether it's a cardiac drug or not, what the cardiac risk profile is. I owned and operated 3 high-volume, hospital-based clinical trial sites for more than 12 years, so I fully understand the current state of cardiac risk monitoring. When a clinical trial is approved by a CRO, when a clinical trial site is approved by a CRO, contract research organization, or pharmaceutical company to conduct a study, a brand new $20,000 EKG machine is provided to each site.
Hey,
that
Steve,
would be anywhere.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Your slides are not advancing.
Yeah, no, I'm still on this slide.
Okay, all right, thanks.
So anyway, a brand new $20,000 EKG machine is provided to each site, and that could be anywhere from 20 to 200 sites across the US. A 1-minute EKG is taken when a subject or patient initially volunteers for the study. And then each week thereafter, when the patient comes back into the site for lab work and examination and the next week's worth of dose or next week's dose worth of medication, once again, a 1-minute EKG reading is taken. This means that there's only 1 minute of cardiac data collected each week during the clinical trial. This process is woefully inadequate when compared to collecting cardiac data 24 hours every day during the entirety of the study, which is what the Libre 3 biosensor can do. Each site charges the pharmaceutical company anywhere from $400 to $750 per 1-minute strip reading. On the other hand, the Libre 3 will cost the pharmaceutical company $150 per week, a substantial cost savings in addition to acquiring 24/7 worth of cardiac risk data. Clinical research organizations have been seeking a patch technology for cardiac monitoring to fill this void. However, all the patches on the market today require various forms of patient interaction versus the place and forget design of the Libre 3. Even the simplest patient task, such as turning on and off a switch or changing or recharging a battery, has been deemed unacceptable in the clinical trial sector. Not unlike many other clinical interactions, today, I moved that too quickly. Anyway, not unlike many clinical interactions today, the migration to telemedicine has also gained traction in the clinical trial space. Decentralized clinical trials where remote patient monitoring is required will shortly become the norm. The Libre 3 is ideally positioned for this shift in clinical research. This shift is taking place in a rapid fashion. So in addition to the clinical research market that we initially planned to address, we also plan to address the office-based cardiac monitoring market with our superior technology. NCI, National Cardiac Inc., has already identified independent sales and service organizations currently selling therapeutic devices such as pacemakers, internal loop recorders, and defibrillators into the office clinic-based cardiology market. These organizations are clamoring for a disposable, reliable cardiac biosensor, a patch. NCI will address this sizable market as well through this pre-identified distribution channel after we gain initial traction in the much larger clinical trial sector. As the slide would indicate, NCI is seeking $2.5 million in a convertible note with very attractive terms to support the clinical comparative data, the study, the selected institutional investors, which we've identified and had a great deal of interest in, more than 10 that would like to place the Series A investment round that will take the company into profitability. So I'm going to stop sharing.